Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing another indie horror spotlight. Today I have a returning guest. He's a director, and he has a short film that I had the pleasure of seeing, and it's called "Till Your Last Breath." I have with us back to the Horror Room, Peter Ravlin. Peter, welcome back to the Horror Room.
Thanks for having me back. It's great to be here again.
It's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. And so, tell us a little bit about this beautifully shot movie that I got a chance to see a rough cut of, and it's called "Till Your Last Breath."
Till Your Last Breath is my attempt to pay homage to the Italian giallo genre. Giallo is roughly the word for Italian. It roughly translates to Italian. I think there's another word for yellow. I'm sure I'm not fluent in Italian. Although watching these movies, I've learned more than when I started. And like I said, they were a very uniquely Italian genre that I fell in love with or became aware of since like the age of 11. And Till Your Last Breath is, well, for starters, it's different than other Giallo films and other people that do Giallo short films. So, Till Your Last Breath, like, pays tribute to directors like Dario Argento, Mario Bava, and Lucio Fulci. Like, those are the three titans of Italian horror cinema. They did other types of horror films, but all three of them did Giallo. And it's important to remember that Giallo isn't necessarily a horror movie. It is first and foremost a murder mystery. They have a lot in common with slasher films. They had a big impact on American slasher films, like the first two Friday the 13th movies. They borrow from Mario Bava's Bay of Blood, aka Twitch of the Death Nerve. And they're just like they're known for like their stylized visuals, their stylized soundtracks, their stylized kills. They're pretty much B movies with A-level production values.
Now, you talk about visuals, you talk about sound. Two things I noticed about this short film: this movie is shot beautifully. You decide to shoot it in black and white. What made you decide to do that?
Great question. So, Giallo films, or Gialli is the plural word, they're generally known for their vibrant Technicolor, cinematography. Like Mario Bava, when he did Blood and Black Lace, one of the seminal Giallos of the 60s, he used like primary colors. Dario Argento it became famous for using primary colors. He became famous doing that on Suspiria, but it's important to remember that Suspiria is not a Giallo, it is supernatural horror. A lot of people call Suspiria Giallo when it's not. So when it came time to do Till, our previous homage to Italian horror, Dweller of the Twilight Void, you remember that one? How we had like
Mm-hmm.
the exaggerated colors?
Yes.
So with each movie, I want to do something different, and I figured that I had taken the exaggerated colors as far as they could go on Dweller. That's not to say I'm not going to do it again, but I don't. I always try and something different with each movie. And I was working with a different camera guy. Like my normal cinematographer is like the ace Steve Ritchie, and anyone who wants to make a movie on the Mendocino coast, go to Steve Ritchie. He's a boss. But he was unavailable because him being an in-demand guy for filmmakers on the coast, I couldn't count on him as much. So that just like speaks to his talent. So I went to another cameraman, my good friend Kellen Lim, excuse me, and he had shot part of Dweller. He had shot some additional gore sequences with us, and he had been a crew on two other movies we had done, and he was a pretty good camera guy. In fact, we did a non-movie. We did a photo shoot for like one company in town. So he was a good guy to have around, and I thought, Kellen, do you want to be my cinematographer in this one? And he said, sure, because we had a good time on this one. And we wanted to see if we could, make interesting shapes with shadows. And something my friend Rob told me was when he made an homage to like a certain kind of my friend Rob, when they told me they were making an homage to a certain kind of movie, they said there's a fine line between homage and imitation.
Mhm. Now, and the other thing you brought too was the sound. The fucking score in this is chilling, man. It's chilling. It builds up the environment of the story. Now, who was the composer that you decided to choose for this film?
Oh, well, for the rough cut, you're listening to the temp score. The music, but it's cool that you brought up the music. The music that is from that's from other Jalo movies. That was just like a temp track to send to my composer, and my composer. If you look at the trailer, you can hear part of my of the composer Matty Taylor's score, who is based in New Zealand, and I got a funny story about that. But yeah, the score that you're listening to, that's not going to be in the final film. That was from part of that is from two Lucio Fulci movies. Lucio Fulci is a sidekick from 1977, and The New York Ripper from 1982.
But they fit right into the movie. I'll tell you that they had me on my seat when the movie. I was like, wow, this score is great. And so you decided. So you're a composer for the actual movie from the trailer, and you said she's coming from New Zealand.
Oh, Maddie, uh, or Matthias. Matthias, they're based in New Zealand, and I had reached out to them. I saw his YouTube channel. He was doing a cover song of Goblin scores. Goblin is like the band that does music for Dario Argento's work.
Okay.
Um, and he was doing a cover of Dawn of the Dead, and then he did a cover of a Fabio Frizzi scores. Fabio Frizzi is a composer for Lucio Fulci movies, some Lucio Fulci movies, and I know that this guy is someone I wanted to work with, and I wrote to him. This was years ago, and I didn't know how I could realistically make it happen. But when we made TIL, I wrote to Mr. Taylor and asked, "What do you do this score? What do you donate your time to do this score?" And they said, "Sure," very graciously. And the funny thing was this was the first movie I made without certain crew members, so I was kind of insecure, and I was in a place where I thought, can I only make a good movie with these people? I still had some important members of my inner circle, but some of my key members were like, it's like how some members of the Beatles like fell apart. It's kind of like, but so I put this movie together at the time because I'm more critical of my work. I'm very critical of my work. I thought when I put like a rush edit together, um, because some of our cast and crew was moving to another town. Like I wanted to put something together to like show our work to them.
Mm-hmm.
Before we did that screening, I looked at it myself and I thought this movie's complete dog shit. And I remember I wrote to Matthias and I told them that I'm sorry, this movie's complete dog shit and does not deserve your time and attention. And then when we did the rough cut screening for the cast and crew. Maybe they're biased, but they actually said it was good. They actually said it was good, and so I checked my message again, and they said, "That's too bad. Well, good luck on your film career." I thought, wait. Maybe I could send you the rough cut, and you can decide whether you like it or not. And fortunately, Matthias agreed, and it's so cool because I got like this pretty awesome soundtrack for most of my movies. I pay for music on Audio Jungle,
Hmm.
or I find what's royalty free on YouTube. And I think I got a really good ear for music because music was an important part of my life as a kid. Like my dad used to take me to classical symphony orchestras, but we listened to music of all kinds from like old 60s rock to rap. And my dad, being the most surprising man, was an old white guy and he was already watching MTV. But
Nice.
like I said, I feel like I got a good ear for music, and so that's why I don't like go for composers often. Partly because I can't afford them, and partly because I'm pretty fussy when it comes to music.
Hmm.
But Matthias, like you can hear his score partly at the end of the trailer for TIL, which is on my YouTube channel now. You can hear like part of his score. Um, he killed it, and I'm not sure if he's even 20, and he's based in New Zealand, and that's one of the things I love about filmmaking. That's one of the things I potentially love about filmmaking is the idea of including independent artists in my work and then hopefully helping to get our names out somehow. Because I never met Matthias. I've only spoken to him via email. And then there's like some other artists whose work, additional sound effects I put into like the track. You know, it's like helping to get other independent artists' work out there.
It's definitely important. Definitely important. It's definitely important, especially in independent artists, to network and build something together. You know, that's always important. Now, with this movie, like, so what you were saying when it comes to a giallo, like, you know, it's more of a whodunit murder mystery compared to horror, and that's a feel that you get when you watch this short film. It's definitely a film about revenge. It's a film about, you know, backstabbing. It's a film about a lot of things. So without giving any spoilers. Now, to make a movie without getting away any spoilers, was that always your idea to make a movie, kind of giving a story about two siblings?
Yes, not to give away the movie too much, but I wanted to use like the reason why I love Jolly so much is like the basic theme, and I found this theme to be true to life. Is there's no one right way to make a Jalo. Like there's a body count Jalo, which is the most popular, and those are the ones that influenced um, the American slasher films. And then there's Jet Set Jalo, which has rich people going to places, or there's Gaslight Jalo. Um, but in each iteration, no one is who they say they are, and that is like a constant. That is a constant form of paranoia I have in my life. Like betrayal from people close to me is a worse fear. It's happened, and that's like the world we live in. And like the theme is no one is who they really say they are. And I also wanted to take the cliches of Jalo and tell a story about a dysfunctional family. Like that was what I thought would make the movie more interesting than just like maybe a cute fan film. Like that's the subtext, and that's what I think makes this piece of work compelling.
So I agree with you. A betrayal from a family member is worse than fucking any possible, especially blood family member. It's worse than any other kind of betrayal than friends, partners, husband, wife. Like family, brothers, sisters, mother, father, like it's so fucked up. So to add that, I mean, it's such a disturbing reality.
That is true. As I once had to tell a family member recently, Blood isn't family. Family is loyalty, honor, and respect.
Yes, 100%, 100%.
And dysfunctional families is almost like a theme I like to keep returning to. You know, growing up, I saw a lot of dysfunction. A movie I made about maybe it's 2 years back in 2022 called Borrowed Paradise. That was a movie about an alcoholic father and his son, and that I know a lot of people that grew up that way, and so that's why I felt the need to tell that story. I think family dysfunction is going to be a theme I return to, and that's also a theme that Wes Craven explored in his works.
Hmm. Because here, here's my thing. Everybody pretends like they, not everybody. Some people pretend like that they had a perfect family or a perfect growing up, but we all had some dysfunctional shit going on. Because at the end of the day, like parents are not perfect. You know what I mean? Like there's no school to learn how to be a parent. There's no training from how to be a parent. You just learn from. You just try not to fuck up as much as your parents did. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. It was only recently. I remember when I was a little kid, I thought my dad was the smartest man to ever walk the face of the earth. And to a large extent, I think that's still true because there was like almost no word he didn't know what each word meant. He knew a little bit about everything. Like, well, that's what it looked like to me. But it's only recently that can see my mom and dad's flaws.
Mm-hmm. And that's something. I mean, the older you get, you start realizing, that you can't 100% blame your parents. I hate when I hear people blame their parents for whatever situation they are dealing with in life. Yes, it can contribute, but at the same time, parents are people. I mean, they're like you and I. They're not perfect. They try their best, whatever their best looks like, whatever that shit looks like. It could be a complete fucking mess. For the most part, they're trying the best to get you to fucking 18 and get you out of the house. So yeah,
Yep, that's true.
Peter. I don't think I asked you three hard questions in the last interview, did I?
Oh yeah, we did. We just mixed it up, but that's
Okay.
do it
Let's
again.
do it again, man. I got three new hard questions I'm going to ask you.
All
And I'm
right.
100% didn't ask you before. All right, Peter. So I have a question. In all of your movies that you have made, is there one way a character has died out of all of the kills you had in your movies? Is there one particular kill that you're like, I would not fucking want to die that way?
That's an excellent question. Well, that's either I would say in Duel of the Twilight Void when a guy named Darren gets his eyes gouged out and his heart ripped out. That there's one.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, that was. I think I'm not sure anyone else in my movies got it as bad as him. I mean,
That's a horrible one.
In Dust Angel, we had like a bunch of spaceships imploding, so you could imagine tens of thousands of people getting vaporized. But we don't see that.
All right. I'm going to shoot to the second question. What is one thing right now? What do you think is in indie horror, big name horror, foreign horror? What is one trend that you see right now that's going on that you wish, that you hope doesn't keep carrying on, 5 to 10 years from now?
5 to 10 years from now, a horror trope that let's see here. Well, earlier I would have said I'm getting tired of all these. I guess maybe I'm tired of requels off the top of my head, even though I liked some of those. Or I guess if you asked me that question like 5 years earlier, I would have said I'm tired of all these found footage movies.
I said the same thing about found footage movies, but they took a break, and now there's some decent found footage, especially indie found footage movies are actually coming out.
You're right. There's dang it. I can't think of it right now, but there's this one found footage thing that I thought was pretty unique. Well, one that's not really recent is from like 2009. It's Yoriko the Curse. That's an interesting found footage movie.
Oh, I've never seen that. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was a huge fan of Blair Witch, and then all of a sudden that hit, and then all of a sudden it was like we were getting found footage. Boom, 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 boom. It was constantly, and like, which is what Hollywood and horror does. They find success in something, and then they beat us over the head with it for 5 to 10 years. And but yeah, I totally agree. At one point, found footage was being shoved down our throat every 2 seconds.
Yeah, well, it's lame when if it's just like a bunch of people being like, "Oh, look at that," then they're shaking the camera nonstop.
Yeah,
But being like, I saw Blair Witch. I'm old enough where I saw Blair Witch in the theater, and I remember that everyone else was screaming, and I'm like 5 years old. I was only screaming because I thought that was a thing to do. But other than that, I thought they shot that in my backyard.
it scared the shit out of me. But Blair Witch, I saw the Blair Witch. I was in high school, and I remember my mom was working nights that point, and I had my license at the point in the car. I remember going to Blockbuster and not Blockbuster, Walmart, and buying a copy of VHS of Blair Witch Project, and I put it on in the middle of the night, called the lights off, and that movie just disturbed me. There was nothing about the visuals or anything, but that final scene when I can't think of the character's name, when he's just standing in that fucking corner. I think that's one of the most eeriest scenes in. If I had to do my top 50 most eerie scenes in a horror movie, that is definitely in my top 50.
Yeah, I can see that. That was pretty uncanny.
Yeah,
And Blair Witch did scare me eventually as I got older.
yeah. All right. Final question I'm gonna shoot you to.
Okay.
Let's see. All right. Who is on your Mount Rushmore of horror villains? So that's who is the 1 through 4. Bloop.
1 through 4.
Mhm.
Okay. Number 1, I'm gonna put Michael Myers. 2, Freddy Krueger. 3, Leatherface. How much I got left? I got 2 more, right?
One more.
1 more? Okay. Billy from Black Christmas.
Billy from Black Christmas. I wasn't expecting one. That's the first time. That's a
Well,
good one.
trying to mix it up because he's
Yeah.
one I find generally scary, but he's not brought up. And that's the 1974 Black Christmas, not that yellow guy from 2006.
Not the remakes. Yeah, those are not good. Okay. Peter, where can everyone find you, my friend?
You can find me in 2 places. One is Dorn Ravlin, that's my YouTube channel, and also my non-narrative videography business, Beach Glass Digital, which I co-run with Steve Ritchie.
Sweet. And by the way, guys, in the description box is the link to Peter's YouTube. So please, please click on it, subscribe, like, comment, and watch some of the fun stuff that's on there. Peter, it's been a blast to have you back on. I will see you in a couple weeks in Baltimore.
See you in a couple weeks.
Yes, my friend. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for coming to the Horror Realm. I'm Travis Bruce. That's Peter Ravlin. See you next time. Take care.